Hello Pioneer Orchestra families, this is Mr. Glaive. The title of this video is Guidelines for Orchestra Tours at Pioneer. If you go to our Pioneer Orchestra website, phsorchestra.com, and you click on Tours, and then go to the bottom of the page and click on Guidelines for Orchestra Tours at Pioneer, you can follow along with this whole conversation. I'm going to take you through some frequently asked questions, talk about the tour process, how decisions are made, etc. So please take a moment and listen to this video. The most frequently asked question I receive is, which orchestras are eligible to travel? All orchestras, Philharmonia, Concert, and Symphony, are given an equal opportunity to travel, but the initial interest from the students and the parents must be there before I or any director agrees to travel. I have kind of an approximate number of 75% of the students must be committed before I take them anywhere, simply because leaving students behind, I think, hurts the curriculum of what we do in the class. But in the end, the director will make the final decision on if traveling is right for the ensemble. Another frequently asked question is, if you choose not to travel with your ensemble, will you be penalized in any way? The answer is absolutely not. A tour is an extra commitment that happens beyond the regular classroom and curriculum. Of course, the students prepare the music together, whether they go on tour or not, but there's no direct connection to a grade. Another frequently asked question concerns finances. Students often tell me they have interest in traveling, but they cannot afford the trip, and they want to know what their options are. Well, we are lucky in Ann Arbor to have a parent organization for the Pioneer High School Orchestras, the Pioneer Orchestra Parent Society, and they're in place to enhance what we do with the regular in our regular ensembles. They provide opportunities for fundraising. They come in and they help with classroom activities. And they do things that benefit the program as a whole for all the orchestras. All students have equal access to scholarships for tours and scholarships for private lessons. Check out our website if you're interested in everything that POPS has to offer. Students are encouraged to participate in fundraising as well as apply for these scholarships so they can continue to help what we do. POPS cannot legally provide individual accounts for students for fundraising, but what we do is put all the money into, what they can do is put money into a large pot that can be divided appropriately for the needs of the group. And those decisions are made by the director with POPS. There is a specific timeline for making decisions about a tour, because obviously you can't throw them together at the last minute. So in the May of the previous school year is when it all begins. The director begins to look into tour options for the following year and contact some companies, get some proposals, and some sample itineraries. And in June that previous year, the director then presents them to the students and the parents with a variety of options, and then polls the families for their interest. And also in that June, if there's an overseas option that is chosen, the tour company is contacted right away, because the organization of an overseas tour must begin immediately. After that, there are some tour requirements that must be in place before I personally, Mr. Glaive, decides to travel with the students, simply because it is a lot of extra work, and I think the students really, if they want the tour to happen, they need to have an active part in making it happen. So there must be a core group of students and adults in each ensemble willing to help with the paperwork, run the fundraisers, etc. And this core group is about 5 students and 5 adults per ensemble. Before I take the students on tour, it obviously must have a strong educational value and contain as many performance opportunities as possible, since we are a performance class. The chaperone rule is domestically, if we travel in the States, there must be 1 chaperone for every 9 students, and if we go overseas, 1 chaperone for every 7 students. But let's make a careful note here that chaperones must also pay for the tour. So a parent and student essentially are paying 2 times for the tour. And once again, 75% of the orchestra must go, or the director can cancel at any time. Some other things about the timeline, though, however, if you're traveling locally or domestically, we can start making the contract possible in August or September. But the down payments for tour usually come around September, October, and we try to spread them out in increments, every 8 weeks or every 6 weeks up until the time, so we don't overburden our families with financial obligations. And the tour actually happens usually in March or April of the following year. I want to leave you with some final thoughts about tour from the director's perspective. I, as the teacher of these ensembles, ultimately would love for 100% of our students to participate in something so unique, such as a tour to whatever city here or there, overseas options, etc. The reality is that likely will not happen. There could be one or two ensembles that decide not to travel, or all three decide not to travel, depending on financial situations, etc. But just know that I am here to do everything I can to get everybody to go. And also, Pops is here for you. Those scholarship opportunities, and when you are there and when you start filling out your paperwork and it says, what will it take to get your son or daughter to attend this tour financially? Don't be bashful about that number you write down, because we take that as a goal to work towards so everybody can participate. So I encourage you now to go look at the itineraries. Also, have healthy conversations with your family about what you'd like. The students will have healthy conversations in their classrooms about where they're interested in going, and we need to start making some decisions. So if you have any questions, of course, you can always contact me. Otherwise, check out the website, phsorchestra.com, and you'll have all the information you need to know. Okay, thanks so much for listening.